Welcome to Two Open Doors, the podcast that explores our power to open or close the doors of relationship with the important people in our lives. We hope you'll learn from and share your wisdom with our community. Thanks for joining us. In creating intimate relationships with others, we build psychological, emotional, and physical connections. Through our intimate connections, we enter into and participate in the lives of those we're connected to. In this episode, we'll consider two kinds of intimate relationships, lovers and partners. We'll take a look at how these are related and at the choices we face in creating and managing these sorts of relationships. What really is a connection between two people? In the broadest sense, that term describes the many ways in which one person can participate in the life of another. Two people who are connected influence one another. They do so through interactions that can be physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, or any combination of these. When people share a connection, they open themselves to receive influence from their partner. They allow that person in, giving the person the ability to affect their own internal state. In this sense, each of the connected partners cares about the other partner. When we think of connection, we're usually implicitly referring to a linkage that's emotional first and foremost. Of course, that emotional connection can be accompanied by a sensual or sexual physical exchange, as in a romantic relationship. It can also be accompanied by a mental exchange, as in the mutually interesting ideas and beliefs that two people share. On a spiritual plane, two connected partners can share a sense that they experience the world in the same way and that they find the same sources of meaning in their lives. What then is an intimate connection? From my perspective, any genuine connection between people is inherently intimate in that it involves emotional interaction. However, the depth and intensity of that interaction can vary. I see an intimate connection as one in which there is strong emotional coupling, which frequently, but not always, also finds expression in sensual and sexual sharing. An intimate connection can invoke all of the dimensions in which we humans can interact: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Because of that, intimate connection can bring two people as close to one another as is possible. Personal connections differ in two dimensions: the temporal dimension, or frequency and duration of interaction, and the extent of connection, or the areas in which the connection is shared. In the temporal dimension, connections can range from a single occurrence to a lifetime of exchanges. The duration of a connection can range from a single shared experience to a lifetime of shared experiences. Similarly, the frequency of a connection can range from a single time to a regular series of repeated experiences, say weekly, monthly, or less frequently, to an ongoing lifetime of perhaps multiple daily shared experiences. The frequency and duration of a connection doesn't say anything about the quality or value of that connection. There are many people who can and do have precious and memorable exchanges that occur infrequently and perhaps only once. Conversely, connections that consist of frequent exchanges over an extended period can lose their luster, as happens in many committed relationships that last a long time. Familiarity and the accompanying loss of novelty and excitement can undermine a long-term relationship. Relationship quality has more to do with the intentionality, creativity, and depth of caring that the partners bring to the relationship than it does with the amount of time spent together. The second important dimension of connection is that of extent. Here, I use that term to describe the various areas of life in which connected partners touch each other. That extent can include areas such as sensual or sexual exchanges, shared vacations and other special events, and various facets of daily life activities such as shared finances, life maintenance activities such as laundry, shopping, cooking, and other housekeeping activities, and long-term care for one another. A given personal connection can involve some or all of these, and a person's different connections may each have different corresponding scopes. We can depict the scope of connections in a Venn diagram in which the two dimensions are connection extent on the horizontal axis and connection timing on the vertical axis. Extent, which is the scope of involvement of a partner in one's life, can range from purely sensual or sexual exchanges to special events, such as shared vacations or celebrations, to general life maintenance activities, and up through caring for one another in the long term and potentially throughout a lifetime. Connection timing can range from short and infrequent encounters, to frequent encounters over a short period, to infrequent encounters over a long period, and up through frequent encounters over a long period. Within this framework for describing connections, let's consider two particular kinds of intimate connections, lovers and partners. In this discussion, I'll propose specific and fairly narrow definitions that allow us to distinguish between lovers and partners in our subsequent discussion. Of course, others may define these terms differently. As an example, many people use these two terms interchangeably. I believe, though, that there's a value in distinguishing them. The connection between lovers is focused on a sensual or sexual loving connection. Lovers share physical intimacy, accompanied by varying degrees of emotional connection. In our diagram, lovers occupy the sensual and sexual sharing range of the connection extent axis, and that kind of connection can range from short-term infrequent interactions through long-term frequent interactions on the connection timing dimension. The lovers area of the diagram can also extend into the special events portion of the extent axis. That is, lovers often also share special events as part of their connection. Those who are in a partner relationship share many or even all aspects of life. In a life partnership, a relationship that typically starts with a sharing of sensual or sexual experiences and special events, then expands to include life maintenance activities. From there, it may even further expand to encompass long-term care for one another. The term nesting partners is sometimes applied to those who are in a partnered relationship. This term recognizes that many such people may live together part-time or full-time, and they may combine their finances and jointly supply the labor that is needed to establish and maintain a nest for themselves. For some, that nest may also include children. In my usage of partners, though, I do not assume that lives are fully or almost fully combined, as they are in most monogamous marriages. As an example, partners may choose to live separately while still spending much of their time together and frequently sharing life maintenance activities such as preparing meals together, setting joint life goals and plans, and otherwise intertwining their lives outside the bedroom. There's no sharp distinction between long-term lovers and partners who don't live together, but partners typically put more emphasis on shaping their future together and on sharing activities that include but extend beyond sharing pleasure with one another. My reason for distinguishing between lovers and partners is that the two connection categories typically come with differing relationship hopes and expectations. Lovers derive most of their relationship satisfaction from the pleasure that they share through their sensual and sexual experiences, and through special events that they share. Lovers are not focused on sharing most other aspects of their lives. Like lovers, partners also get great satisfaction from their shared intimate experiences and special events that they enjoy together. However, for partners, sharing other aspects of their lives is often a big part of their relationship. In essence, partners are focused on building some form of shared life together, beyond sharing intimate experiences. While lovers can be envisioned as having orbits that occasionally intersect, partners seek to intertwine their lives to a greater extent. The particulars of that entwinement will differ from relationship to relationship. However, partnership involves sharing large portions of their partner's lives. This differing focus has consequences. Those who seek intimate connection as lovers share similar desires for their relationship, and they give each other the room that each needs in order to sustain their independence. Similarly, a couple who both wish to be partners to one another are likely to find satisfaction in the breadth and depth of their connection, and they are content to live lives that are interdependent. In contrast, when one person is seeking a partnered connection, but with someone who desires to be a lover rather than a partner, the latter may feel overly confined and unappreciated for what they bring to the relationship. A lover needs the autonomy that comes from not being in a relationship that may feel too entwined for them. The lover may feel that their partner is asking too much of them. From the other partner's side of the relationship, one who is seeking partnership may feel that a lover is not sufficiently available and emotionally connected with them. Whatever pleasure they share may be enjoyable but not completely satisfying. The aspiring partner may feel that they're not getting enough from their lover. Stepping back a bit, those who relate to one another as lovers see the retention of their independence and free choice as centrally important. Lovers are invested in one another's lives, but in a limited and focused way. Their commitment to and investment in one another is limited to what they share in their intimate connection. Partners may make a broader and perhaps deeper commitment to and investment in one another. That's what embodies the entwinement of their lives. The partners in such a relationship are interdependent rather than fully independent. They have each voluntarily reduced the scope of their individual freedom in exchange for the meaning and richness of the life that they co-create. Partners are not better than lovers, or vice versa. For the members of either style of intimate connection, it's a matter of what each participant seeks from the relationship. Being lovers can bring great satisfaction to those who value and seek intimate connection. It's a privilege and an honor to be able to share another person's life in that depth. Similarly, having a partner can provide satisfaction across a broad range of life activities. That sort of connection can serve as a crucible in which one can come to know oneself and share oneself more deeply than in perhaps any other kind of relationship. One's choice of relationship type is a deeply personal matter in which one must choose what's right for oneself. To learn more about Two Open Doors and to engage with our community, I'd like to invite you to visit the Two Open Doors private Facebook group, the Two Open Doors Meetup group, and the Two Open Doors website and blog at twopendoors.com. I also invite you to contact me directly by writing to me at Claude, C-L-A-U-D-E, at twopendoors.com. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll use your inputs to guide my work on future blog posts and podcast episodes. Thanks for visiting Two Open Doors.